What's up, guys? Welcome back to Blueclouds TV. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Blueclouds media fans. Welcome back to Football Minutes Live, brought to you by Blueclouds Media. Do not forget to like the video, share, subscribe to Blueclouds Media YouTube channel. Yes, it's Tuesday night, and we are back again with lots of topic going on in association football regarding Chelsea Football Club and some topics that we can talk about. Champions League game, Manchester United couldn't make it through. They don't have enough to get them over the hurdle. So we will talk about Manchester United. But as today's stream, we will discuss the Kepa set to be sold for a massive loss. Reece James hamstring injury and its impact. Mauricio Pochettino 3 January transfer target. New rules limiting Premier League contract length. This is this news really is targeted directly to Chelsea. I don't know how you take it, but this is what we are here for. We'll be discussing this news. So, guys, if you're here, join us as we discuss these wonderful topics tonight. I know it's very, very late. If you're in UK, so you're talking about 10 p.m. If you're somewhere in Africa, probably around 9 to 10 p.m. But here in America, it is still, evening 5:13 p.m. In the evening. Champions League games, most of them have come to an end, but we will also look into them. So, guys, be my guest. Do not go anywhere. Join us here as we discuss today's topic. Maybe Steven will join us later, but don't worry. We have Mr. Ryan. Mr. Liverpool is here with me. Stick around, get something to drink, popcorn, as we take you through the next hour of association football news. We'll be right back. Welcome back, beautiful people. Absolutely. We have I123 Love You Forever in the building. She said, it's about time you go live. Needs Zion LOL. Laugh out loud. I've been catching and waiting as YouTube is wild today. Hope everyone is well. Wonderful. Yes, I have Mr. Ryan with me, and everyone is active. And, today's Champions League night, today and tomorrow. So, yes, late stream. I got so much going on behind the scenes, so I have to take care of other issues. Still, dedicated and doing what we love doing best, talking football. Where do we start from? But before I get into the topic, let me see what Mr. Ryan got to say. Welcome back to the stream, Mr. Ryan. How was your day?
Thank you, Nee. I'm doing well. Glad to be here. Watch some Champions League tonight. Some very interesting score lines. Which I'm sure we'll get on to. But I had a good day. And let's deep dive into Chelsea first of all.
Yeah, it's always nice and wonderful to have you. The reason why I always say that is neutral. You give us different perspective on how me being a Chelsea fan will see things in the other way. So yes, it's always nice to have you back on the platform. we're discussing where do we start from? Let's talk about I think I'll start from Kepa Arrizabalaga. Today news broke that Kepa as at now Kepa has been left out of the Real Madrid starts in 11 and he's been sidelined. It means that his value is going down and down. We were thinking maybe this is a time for Chelsea to sell Kepa and make some money off him. But also earlier today, I have another tweet from coming from Fabrizio Romano, where he said Real Madrid are thinking of bringing in Kepa Arrizabalaga next game to be the starting goalkeeper. I don't know where you think we are heading towards. Chelsea don't want Kepa anymore. Where do you think that this is going to, Mr. Ryan?
Yeah, I think this is kind of heading to quite a predictable resolution, which eventually will be Chelsea selling Kepa. He's not viewed, as the number one goalkeeper. He never has. He's had opportunities because of injuries to goalkeepers ahead of him, and now he's had a loan opportunity at Real Madrid. But it's clear even in Spain, once Courtois recovers from his injury, that Kepa will be surplus to requirements. So yeah, definitely Chelsea need to cash in, get what they can. I don't think Kepa's done badly for Real Madrid. They're near the top of the table. They've had a perfect qualification in the Champions League, won all their games. So yeah, I'm sure there will be potential suitors out there in the summer transfer market for him. But yeah, Chelsea need to sell, get the revenue, and then focus on a goalkeeper target in the summer.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think Kepa will be very, very difficult to sell at this moment. If Real Madrid doesn't fancy Kepa, his price will be I think it's going to go all the way down to, you're talking about 13 million, a player that Chelsea spent 70 million on about a couple of seasons ago. I said maybe 4 seasons ago, will be gone away from Chelsea for only a fee of 13 million. That is a lot of money being lost for the football club. But it's one of those things. It's one of those things. We take the loss, you take the L, and then you move away from Kepa Arrizabalaga. So we're gonna move away from Kepa. Ryan, I think that is definitely going to be a loss But do you think that Chelsea would have been better having Kepa now over Robert Sanchez, right?
I don't think it would have made a huge amount of difference, if I'm being honest. Maybe a few points here and there. Maybe Kepa would have made fewer mistakes. But no, in the grand scheme of things, no, it wouldn't have made a big material difference.
My reason of saying this is Kepa, I really know he's very, very good in terms of his distribution and playing out from the back, which is the problem we're facing now with Robert Sanchez. But Kepa also is not that good in terms of long range shots. But Robert Sanchez does better in that aspect. So I was thinking maybe in terms of a little bit of less goals conceding, we would have been a little bit better Kepa being there. But I don't think he really fancy Chelsea right now. He wants to be close. Initially, he was almost close to moving to Bayern Munich until Real Madrid, Thibaut Courtois got injured. Then they call him. But then he fancy Real Madrid move than any other country because that's where he's coming from. He's Spaniard. So I think from where we are, Chelsea wants to let him go. Kepa belongs to history. He came to Chelsea, did his job, and he's gone. So now we have to forget about him. Take the L. 30 million is what Chelsea will make out of Kepa if they sell Kepa Arrizabalaga. But you should ask yourself, who will take Kepa at this moment in time and his performance. So we move away from Kepa Arrizabalaga. Will be next topic that we'll be discussing is Mr. Ryan, Reece James hamstring injury and its impact. Reece James is Chelsea's number one captain. Vice captain is not there. And I've said this earlier on, that Mauricio Pochettino have made a very, very big mistake from moving the captainship away from him to Reece James at this early stage. You always want to see your captain in the football club that can help galvanize the young players and also give them that morale that they need as the captain. But if you're playing the game, it looks like Chelsea doesn't have leaders on the pitch, and that kind of leadership is lacking in each and every game. What's your thought on how you see Chelsea and Reece James injury, Mr. Ryan?
Yeah, it's really sad. Going back to even the World Cup in Qatar last year, he had knee ligament damage, and then the opening game
Yeah.
of this season's Premier League against Liverpool, he sustained the hamstring injury, and he was out for between August to October. It's just never ending, and Chelsea need to really find a way to help him resolve these hamstring recurring issues and fix his body. Because right now it's just that hamstring is breaking down every time. So it must be so frustrating for the player. And this is someone speaking as a neutral. I want to see him in the England squad. I want to see him playing in the Euros. He's a starter. He's a world-class fullback, one of the best in the world. So, what does this mean for Chelsea during the busy Christmas fixture period? To be without Reece James, it's a big blow. Do they need to dip into the transfer market now in January? What do you think, Nee?
Oh, I think that the right back situation will be okay. I don't think they have to rush into the transfer markets right now. I don't think it's really necessary. Reason why I'm saying that is Chelsea have another replacement, which is Malo Gusto. When things becomes difficult, we can have Cucurella go into that position if Malo has to be injured again or has to be suspended due to how high volume of games. We can put Cucurella into that position. We've seen him play in that position. I think that he will be better for now until the summer transfer window. Ryan.
Yeah, I can understand that logic, that way of thinking. But I feel really bad for Reece James, and we saw on social media so many players, Chelsea players and also rival club players, showing him support, and I think that's important because he's just going through a really, really difficult time. Psychologically, It must be really, really tough, to injure, work so hard in the gym, recovery, rehabilitation, and then play and get injured again. Don't underestimate the psychological impact that will have on him. But he seems a very strong guy mentally, and he'll recover. He'll come back.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Steven and I have talked about this a couple streams ago that it's about time that he has to get that surgery done because Reece James' sister, which is Lauren James, who's been abused on social media. I know there's been Chelsea FC have got into it. There's been a report or I think a report coming from the website in regards to those abusing Lauren James. If all this abuse has to do with the game against Manchester United over the weekend. So yeah, that's just by the way. So yeah, Lauren James have these hamstring problems until she had her surgery. Since then, she's been fit. She's been playing all the time. Because I remember when she came to Chelsea, she didn't play quite a number of games until she was ready. So I think that Reece James is not going to make Euros. He's not going to make the Euro for England, and there's a problem with him. And I think with Gary Southgate, Gary Southgate is not going to call him. So why are you wasting time? And also at this moment, the club hasn't reported on the length of a period that Reece James will be out for the football club. No one has reported anything, but I feel like Reece James will be out for months instead of weeks. So in that situation, why wouldn't he take the opportunity and get the surgery done now and recover better instead of trying to go through the same rehabilitation problems and then come back again and within a game or two there's another injury, right?
Yeah, it's a good point. Uh, you know, Chelsea need to really be very cautious with his recovery and rehabilitation. You know, the key thing is to avoid this recurring pattern of injuries that he keeps having. So there's no point rushing him back now because the same cycle will repeat itself.
Yeah.
They need to really identify the root cause. There must be some weakness there in his, hamstring. I'm not a medical expert, but yeah, they need him to see the right specialist. They need to do the right rehabilitation, strengthening, and it might be a blessing in disguise that he doesn't play in the Euros. It will give him the summer to fully recover pre-season, and then I think realistically Chelsea will be looking now for the next season to get him fit and proper. Very, very
Yeah.
similar, Neil. If I can just add to
Yeah.
the
Sure. Go ahead.
situations with Luke Shaw at Man United, and then probably also John Stones at Man City. These are world-class English defenders in their respective positions, but they just keep getting injuries. And I don't know what it is. Is it an England problem?
I
Is it
don't
just
know.
coincidence that they're all English?
I don't. It's very, very hard to tell on a layman point of view. I haven't played soccer in the highest level. It's very, very difficult to tell. But if you look at how the episodes of injuries happening now compared to the 1990s and 1970s, it doesn't really happen more often in the olden days. I mean, presumably there's supposed to be good equipment, good diet, professional dietitians over there trying to give these guys the best food to eat, the best training, right time to sleep, right time to be up. But it looks like it's not helping. It's rather, multiplying in the number of injuries that the Premier League players are sustaining. I think the Premier League players has, high number or number of injury players compared to any other league that I've seen. I haven't really made that survey very well, but I'm very, very sure if I should go in right now, the number of players that Newcastle have, the number of players that Chelsea have had prior to the beginning of the season, and so with Liverpool and now with even Manchester City are way more, and not just average players. These are world class players. These are top players that they play games to make different. So I feel like the either the high velocity of game or the intensity in the Premiership is still way too high for these new generation. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this, Mr. Ryan?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's maybe it is generational, and the demands and the pressures, the intensity of the modern football today is greater. But yeah, these are not very young players.
Yeah,
Reece James is he mid-20s or
I think he's 23
uh,
now. Reece James at 23. Yeah, mid
23?
20s.
Okay, so he is still quite young. But John
Yeah.
Stones, Luke Shaw, they're kind of mid to late 20s now. So maybe it is, yeah, just the accumulation of playing multiple seasons and English football. It's high intensity. And then they're not the only players that are suffering injuries. There's a lot of top clubs have long injury lists right now.
And then it's very, very high in the Premier League, isn't it?
It is, and it's you know synonymous with just the amount of games that English teams are having to play. Europe, Carabao, FA Cup, Premier League.
Yeah.
It's a very heavy schedule. International football.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan. Yeah. If you guys are just joining us here, we are discussing, Reece James. We've talked about Kepa Arrizabalaga, But if you're just watching us, thank you very much. I123 love you for your comments. She said, "Where's everyone at tonight? No one's joining the chat tonight." I share this with all my social media platforms and group I belong to. Come on, everyone, show some love. Yeah. And usually Champions League days like this, people are tired and they just want to go straight to bed. But yeah, so do not stress yourself. Do not worry. I'm not worried about numbers, views. No, I'm not worried about. I'm just worried about keeping consistency. Even though I didn't stream at the right time, at the end of the day, I put the stream in. I did something. So yeah, still keeping the consistency, so people know I'm still relevant and I'm still out there. Yeah, I've seen my brother hiding down there. I just saw him. I don't know how long he's been here. Stephen G, how long have you been
Yeah,
here?
I don't know, like 3 to 4 minutes.
3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, I
I
just
fell
went down.
asleep. I've literally just woken back up.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back.
It's like, oh no, I've missed the start of the stream.
Yeah. I want to love you forever sharing this with us. She said James is a 24-year-old but a good player, but he is having too many injuries. He's not getting any younger. And all the injuries are gonna weigh his body down and be of no use to anyone. I just hope that Reece can get that surgery done, come back, and then um, start doing something. Steven, I wouldn't go back, but I want to let you know what we've discussed so far. We've talked about Kepa, Arisa Balaga set to be sold for a massive loss. I'm not so sure if you've seen the tweet from Fabrizio Romano yesterday. Fabrizio tweeted that Kepa Arrizabalaga will be back to Real Madrid starting lineup, which is, I think, was it today? I'm not so sure if Kepa was a guy in goalpost today because the tweet was yesterday. And it says everyone
I
on the
can tell
bench will
you
be
because I
back.
sent something earlier about from one of the he started. So I sent something from one of the ones that follows like some of the young players, but also like
Yeah.
the ones that are out on loan.
Okay.
So Kepa started, Amari Hutchinson started, Vale started.
For
Obviously, not all these are playing
Ipswich,
in
right? Ipswich.
Championship. Some of these are in the Champions League. Some
Yeah.
are in Championship and League One. Burstow was on the bench. Fofana was on the bench for Union Berlin. Last time I saw their score was 1-0 against Real Madrid. I don't know how it finished because I fell asleep. Humphreys was on the bench and so was Ziyech.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Stephen G. And also, we did talk about Reece James' hamstring injury and its impact to the football club or the team right now as a captain. So that's where we are. If you can summarize, you've already talked about Kepa Arrizabalaga. So if you want to add your opinion or perspective on Reece James' hamstring injury right now, then we can move on to Mauricio Pochettino set to bring in 3 January players, or Mauricio Pochettino 3 January transfer target. We can talk about that. So once you're done, then we move on to Pochettino.
Just quickly, so what I was saying about Reece's sister Lauren James, who also plays for us, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, we talked
that
about
she
that
had
too. That abuse,
surgery.
right?
Huh?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Her
Yeah,
surgery.
that
Go ahead.
she had surgery. Hers was also her hamstring as well. So maybe it's just like a family thing. Somehow they just got issues with the hamstrings. I don't know.
They're well built. If you look at the dad, if you look at Ryan's there, if you guys look at the dad and look at Lauren James herself, you could tell that this is a family that is has the genetics. They are full of muscles. To be honest with you, look, if Reece James will have it so easy in bodybuilding, Reece James will have it so easy when he start building because he's got all the calves, he's got the biceps, he's got the legs and everything. Look at Lauren James, look at her thighs alone. So I think it has to do with it's coming from the family, the way they're being built. So someone has to steady Reece James and the family very well, genetically, so they know how they can treat this guy because they have lots of muscles on their body.
Yeah,
Steven.
somehow I don't know how it's happened that both Reece and Lauren both have had hamstring issues. It's very odd. But yeah, as I said the other day, she had surgery on hers, and I don't think she's had an issue since.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
if I'm Chelsea, I'm saying, look, I know you probably don't want to get involved, but just speak to your brother, explain
yeah.
to him how having surgeries benefited you, how you haven't really had hamstring issues like you used to, and stuff like that, and just say to him like, you have a lot, maybe you
Mhm.
should really put some consideration towards the surgery, because they're
Okay.
both our players. There's no reason why we can't say, look, just speak to your brother, outline to him what it's done for you and stuff like that. There's no reason why we can't do that.
Absolutely. Or even the doctor that treated her could, play another big role on Lauren James. Reece James' situation, because if it's hamstring, the same thing the sister also went through. So, yeah, there should be a way that we can fix that problem. All right. So, thank you very much, Stephen G. For Ryan. Mr. Ryan, are you there? You want to top up? Do you have anything you want to top to before we move on from there? Then we can later on we can talk about the Champions League group stage, those that have qualified for the next stage and today's games. So, Ryan, if you want to add anything to it, feel free to add.
Nope, nothing from me. Happy to move on.
All right, so thank you very much, guys. You're watching live on you're watching Football Minutes Live, brought to you by Blueclouds Media Live. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back in a second. All right, welcome back again to Football Minutes Live, brought to you by Blueclouds Media. Mauricio Pochettino, 3 January transfer targets. We'll be talking about Pochettino has made this, public, that the club, he's not saying they should ration, but he believes that the players that he has in the team are not, he doesn't have the balance or not good enough. He needs some replacement for other position. And we've talked about the strike, world class striker, the left back row, and then some midfield position. We've also heard that Gallagher. I didn't put his topic into today's topic, but it's something for tomorrow. Gallagher also top media outlets have said that Gallagher will be put up for sale, which I found that to be very, very disturbing. If top medias will be reporting Gallagher, who is having a fantastic season with Chelsea so far, news is out there that Gallagher is being put out for sale in the January transfer, trying to bring different players in. But yes, Mr. Ryan, Chelsea is digging in, and they have to spend some more money. That's the only That's the only way they can solve this problem. Bring in more players. Ryan, what position do you think that Chelsea should prioritize if they have to bring in 3 players?
Oh, well, I'm not a Chelsea expert, but even I can tell you, as a neutral fan,
I know where your
the
face is going to
striker
be.
position, yeah,
First one.
it's center forward. It's up front. You need someone to score the goals. Whether that's Victor Osimhen, I don't know, Vlahovic, Ivan Toney. You know, the, we know what the process is here. Pochettino's on a 2-year contract with the option of a 3rd year. You have guys who are in charge of the recruitment, right? Like, what's the guy's name? Winston Stanley and
Stanley.
Shields
Steven's best
and
friend.
what's the Lawrence Stewart, those guys.
Shields, yeah. Steven's
They're
best
the
friend.
ones who are Steven's best friend. They're the ones
Yeah,
who
with
are
Stanley.
spearheading the recruitment. They're the ones who will come up with the shortlist. but it needs to be process that Pochettino is involved in as well. I think because ultimately he's the manager. He picks the players. It's his tactics, his formation. It needs to be a mutual process. But yeah, you desperately do need to bring players in. Probably Stephen can talk about this because we've discussed this topic with him in the past about the amortization rules. I think that's now confirmed. The Premier League clubs have voted
it's in
to
there.
limit it to
It's
5 years.
Yeah, it's on the topic. The new rules
Yeah.
limited
Okay.
Premier
So
League. Yeah, that'll be next to talk about
I
after
guess
Pochettino's.
that obviously impacts your transfer spending in the January window as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan. Stephen G. Mauricio Pochettino set to bring in more players. Stephen Don Dada G. I think he's having technical issues. So whilst we're waiting for Stephen
My
G to
bad.
jump in.
Didn't realize I was muted.
All right. Don't worry.
By the way, I'll sort out the thing in the Discord later. I didn't realize it was still set. But yeah, so I think the setup for that sort of transfer business now, if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be that we have Poch basically. I think it'd be like he'll recommend some names and profiles of players. And then obviously you'll get your scouts and your directors going out looking at those players and sort of seeing who they think is basically the best options. Which that's perfectly fine with me because you don't want the manager to have too much control. So if they suggest a couple of players and they sort of say, this is the kind of profile I want, then I have no issue with that. I think that's how it should be. Because if you just let a manager go, I want this player, and you sign him, then there's issues. Because then a manager has too much say on things. And if they were to get sacked, then there's kind of problems. Because it's what happened with Tuchel, right? We had Tuchel. We let him have a say because we didn't really have many other people on the sporting side of it when it comes to scoutings and directors. So Bowley was sort of doing it. So he asked Tuchel who he wanted. Hence, we got players like Aubameyang and Sterling. And I think Tuchel's self-admitted since he's left, there was about 4 players he recommended that we sign. So that's on Tuchel. Part of the business is on Tuchel. But yeah, I think it's a case of he recommends names and recommends the profile, and then the scouts will look at them and maybe they find someone who, in their opinions, better than the names he's given and will be better suited to us.
Perfect. Spot on, Stephen G.
Can I just
yeah, sure, right.
Can I quickly just ask Stephen, who makes the final decision?
I think it's like a collective thing. But you'd imagine a big part of that is obviously going to be the directors. So your Win Stanleys, your Lawrence Stewarts.
Right. Okay.
Them guys, basically. They'll probably be the final say, but it's like a collective, so pretty much everyone gets a say on the matter.
But it has to be more on Mauricio Pochettino targeting specific players who will understand his niche, right?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening, as I explained. I think he'll recommend some players and a profile, a player for positions, and then we'll go out and look at them. But it's really unfortunate. Like, I sent you a message yesterday. Right?
Yeah, you did.
I said, it's crazy, right, how we look and you look at some of the players that the old ownership and that let go, right?
Yeah, like
and
the likes of...
some players wanted to go, they had their reasons, but if there was a way we could have convinced them to stay, we would have some incredible talent. Livramento wanted to go because we had Aspi and Reece here. Musiala went. Declan Rice went. Tamori went. Gilmore went. That was on Tuchel. Todd Bowley
Yeah.
tried to stop that happening, but his mind was made up. Lewis Hall's another one. And that's just me
Lots of
just
players.
plucking names out of the top of my head. Like, I can go on for ages with some of the names that we've let go.
Yeah.
But
If
you look at that, right? Just the names of Livramento, Hall, Musiala, Rice, Tomori, Gilmore. If we had them on top of Colwell, Gallagher, Broyo, and Reece, you've got a solid start to a squad there. With just those players alone. That's a solid like foundation to a squad.
even if you look at the right back, Ryan and Steven, if you look at the right back situation, the players that you mentioned, if they're still with the football club, you're gonna end up having Reece James, who is still with us. You're gonna have Livramento, who also, or maybe Tariq Lamptey. You didn't even mention Tariq Lamptey.
Yeah,
but
Lamptey's another one. I didn't
yeah,
mention him in my list, but I did mention him. I think
yeah.
maybe further down or somewhere else. Yeah, he's
But
another one.
centre
But
back,
that's the thing. Lamptey and Livramento, I
yeah,
think, have also both played on both sides at fullback, both right back and left back.
that's right. I was even telling Ryan, it's not time to dig into the market for right back position.
Mm-hmm.
We could put Cucurella there, and also we could put Cucurella in that position.
Well,
And
Cucurella's now injured as well, so
oh goodness,
he got
but yeah,
injured. Sanchez got injured, and Reece got injured. All three happened on Sunday at Everton. So
let's see. Is there any update on Cucurella yet? Is there any update on him?
I've not seen one. No, I've only seen that they posted one on Reece.
Okay. But if you look at the centre back situation, also we're gonna have players like Tomori, Rudiger averaging, probably in 30s, but still, if you have 36, 38, 39 years old playing at that level, why not Rudiger? Rudiger is still playing good with Real Madrid. Still playing good with Real Madrid. If you have Kepa Rudiger and given what he's looking for, it wouldn't have been we wouldn't have been in this situation with lots of naive and inexperienced players. Tomori, Rudiger, Cowell,
That's when the older
Badishir, and Humphreys, Bashir Humphreys, another young player. Bashir Humphreys wouldn't do anything different than what maybe Badishir or Disasi is doing. He's going to do the same exact thing, make mistakes, and then get better in the future. So also the left back, we'll be looking at great elite left back, which is Steven said, Lewis Hall would be a very, very suitable. And also we have a player that Mauricio Pochettino doesn't fancy. Remember when Lewis Hall was here, he was not even used in that left back position. He was put it. I think he's a midfielder, isn't he?
He's a midfielder. He was used at
Yeah,
left
He's a
back.
as a left
midfielder,
back. Yeah.
yeah.
But he's still being used at left back now.
Yeah, at Newcastle United. That is good. That is good. So yeah, he's very, very good. And I think he's better to play in that role, in the left back role, instead of putting him, because he's not that creative. He doesn't have that flair. That is why coaches doesn't fancy him playing in that midfield role. So I think that a left back is more suitable for Luis Hall. So guys, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from there. We don't want to.
Just very, very quickly.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
These were quotes I think Stephen posted in our Discord, and I remember I read an article. I think we all know this, but just putting it out there as well that Poch, is publicly it's been kind of circulated in the press that he sees specific issues with the Chelsea squad. Right, he sees they have a lack of height. There's not enough aggression, and not enough goals. So these are really kind of driving the transfer targets that he wants. He wants a versatile defender, he wants a midfield, and he wants a striker. And he wants to increase the height of your squad as well. These are things that have been circulating. I think Stephen posted it in our Discord as well. These are key points.
Yeah,
The thing
I
is,
don't.
right?
I
They
think.
don't even all need to be starters.
Yeah. Go ahead. When you're done, I'll jump in.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be quick.
I think the
didn't
heights.
mean to cut you off.
Go on, sorry.
But yeah, they don't even need to all be starters, like regular starters for us. Like, I think I gave a list. I don't know if I put in our group or I sent it to Nee separately. But for example, you can get I don't know, we're being linked with Max Kilman of Wolves, right? 26 years old, about 6'3", Premier League experience, right? There's Lewis Dunk. He's now 32. He's 6 years older, but again, he's about 6'3", 6'4". He's got Premier League experience, but the addition with him compared to Kilman, he's been a captain. He's got that leadership to him. So, like, they don't have to play every game, and I'm sure they'll understand. But also, I'd back them to fight for the badge as well, because I think both also supported Chelsea as kids as well. So I wouldn't be worried about them coming in and sort of being sort of off the bench, sort of rotational type players for cup games, whatever, because I'd feel like they would definitely fight for the club because they supported them when they're younger. So I wouldn't be worried about that either.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
Are you guys surprised by that stat that Chelsea have the second shortest squad in the Premier League? To me, when I read that, I was surprised.
I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think so. Probably they're looking at players that have been featuring. They're not looking at players that have the on the injury list, because Chalobah, I don't think Chalobah is a short guy. All that our defense have a tall guy besides Cucurella and Matse.
Silver's only about 6 foot, isn't he?
Who?
Silver, I think, is only 6 foot.
Thiago Silva. Oh, 6 foot is tall.
Yeah.
No, but for a centre back, you'd want someone who's those
Steven,
couple inches taller.
How tall is Puyol?
I don't know.
Puyol is not tall.
Puyol. No, but I'm saying, like.
But actually, when you look at it, it is true, isn't it? Sterling's short, Enzo short,
Cucurella.
Gallagher's not tall, Cucurella. Actually, yeah, when you look at it player by player, it probably is right. Yeah, I mean, Man City have a small squad as well, and actually Liverpool we're not a tall squad. So
But
you're not the only one.
One of the tallest, and
Liverpool has one of the tallest players. Liverpool has a lot of tall
players,
and I think Tottenham also.
Our front players are not tall. Salah, Harvey Elliott, and they're not tall.
You're
talking about players.
But that's
those players don't feature, Ryan. Those players don't play that much for Liverpool. Harvey Elliott doesn't start for Liverpool. Indo doesn't start for Liverpool. What's his name? Alcantara doesn't start for Liverpool. We're talking about Gravenberg. Dua.
I think Thiago Alcantara is still injured.
Yeah, still injured.
He's still injured, yeah.
So, yeah.
I think the stat I read was the squad, so they must be looking at the overall squad, but it's weird anyway.
Yeah, but you
clearly it's bugging Pochettino.
Sterling.
Yeah.
I think the midfield, you definitely need someone very, very tall that can help with the 50-50 balls. Caicedo hasn't performed that well to that price tag, but I don't want the price tag to put that much pressure on him. But he hasn't performed that much towards the money that Chelsea spent on him. Enzo Fernandez, I wouldn't criticize him that much, because I don't know. Enzo Fernandez was good last season. The whole team is not performing consistently. They've been good one time, second game, then they become average. The next game they go poor. Then the following game they wake up again. That consistency is not there. It's not that Chelsea have bad players. That is why I sometimes put some blame on Mauricio Pochettino, because he has to psych these players up to be able to go out there and perform each and every time. I don't know. Maybe someone have anything else regarding the squad performance of Steven or Ryan. Right? Who would you think that has to put that pressure on these players to perform very well?
Who has to put the pressure? Yeah, I guess the manager.
It's the manager. But it's difficult. It's difficult to try and criticize Mauricio Pochettino so much. Look, next season is gonna come again, right? Ryan and Steven. Next season comes again, we're gonna see the same number of injury. It's gonna happen again. It's not gonna get away. So Poch need to wake up, because the injury day will come, suspension day will come. Jackson is turning himself into a notorious player. He's going for necessary cynical fouls, and then taking red cards that are not necessary. You get what I'm saying? So Jackson, he need to wake up, but coach has to talk to him, else he's not going to play. If he keep getting to people's faces and holding their neck like it's a rugby game or playing Friday night boxing, he need to wake up. Okay, guys, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from there, unless anyone has anything to say. We're gonna move on from there. We've been I think we're approaching 45, 46 minutes of live streaming. With next one, we're gonna move on to. We will talk about the FA rules, new rules limiting Premier League contract length, and this is directly to Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea is known lots of players. You're talking about 5 to 6 players that are on 6 to 5 to 8 years or 5 to 7 years contract length, and the most annoying one of it is Halo Modric, now on 8 years contract with Chelsea. Guys,
wait, what was you saying about Madrid?
He's on 8 years. He was on 7, and he just renewed an addition for an extra year.
He signed on 8.5.
8.5 years.
So he has 7 left now because he signed on 8.5. Because he signed in January. I think it was 8.5. It was either 7.5 or 8.5.
8.5.
I'll have to double check this. It's one or the other.
So do you think that this new rules is being targeted to Chelsea?
No, because what I think it is the UEFA rule for the same thing, the exact same thing, came in over the summer. That's when it should have came in for the Premier League. It didn't. So we exploited it a bit more for the Premier League finances. And then we said, okay, we've had our fun with it. We've utilised it. We don't need it anymore. We're now going to vote with you guys so that it's blocked, so that none of you can utilise it, because we're done having our fun with it. That's what I think. I genuinely think we've used it how we want to use it. We've not got to use it anymore because we've got the foundations of our squad. And now we're going to vote with the majority of you to block everyone else in the league from doing it. Genuinely, that's what I think.
Yeah, I think Stephen's right, Nee. There was a loophole because of the imbalance between UEFA rules, Premier League rules. That loophole's been closed. Premier League clubs have voted on it. But the key thing is they're not backdating any of the rule changes, right? So Chelsea are fine up to now.
They can't.
All the business they did.
Something that was legal at the time.
I mean, it was legal at the time that Chelsea gave those contracts to these players, so there's nothing they can do about it now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but is the date set? Did they say is it going to take effect January or maybe the summer?
They haven't said. I don't know if it's immediate. I would have thought it can't be immediate. I would have thought, because didn't the UEFA one have to wait till the summer? Because that's normally when all rule changes take effect. So although it didn't state it, I would imagine it would have to be the summer.
Okay. So it means that if it's the summer, then Chelsea can still give 8 years, 9 years contract to new players that are coming in.
Quick, get Tony Osman in, one of them.
Yeah. Victor. Happy days. Ryan, why you guys not doing this? I know there's a disadvantage in it, but in the other way around, amortization, it's also good on the wage balance, also in terms of how much you pay players. If you go to Manchester United, I'm sure they are miles far away in terms of their wage bill, where they're paying players like 400 a week and 350 a week. Many players probably are on 250 a week, compared to Chelsea. Players are on 100 grand a week and 150 a week.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, this is just an accounting thing, right? Yeah. If you want to sign a player for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you still can. It just means from an accounting perspective, you can only spread the cost over a maximum of 5 years. It's just not the way that we do transfer business. We don't give out such long contract deals. But I think that there was another rule. I'm going to see if I can find it. I might just go on mute. But there was something else, another rule that was voted on and passed, to do with like if there there's an outstanding transfer debt, then
Yeah,
the league
then
can block
you can't
something like that.
register a player or something. Yeah, I know what you're on about. I saw that as well.
Yeah,
So if
let's
you
see if I can
owe
find it.
debt on a transfer to a EFL, so your Championship, League One, League Two clubs, or a fellow Premier League club, I think the rule is you then can't register that player or something to that
Yeah,
effect.
yeah, they can block the registration, yeah, until the debt's paid.
I
Oh,
actually
wow.
think that's good because it'd get people to start paying up on time in terms of
Yeah,
because you know how you can get stuff where you have certain times where you pay certain parts of it, right? So
Yeah.
although on paper Caicedo is 100 million guaranteed, I think our first installment at that first installment might have been about 20 million. Then there might be another installment that's slightly higher, for example. So I think it relates more to that of if you don't pay those installments at time, it's therefore debt. And then if you're in debt, then obviously they can block you from playing that player.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. I think we have outlined, we have explained much more of these, the new rules limiting Premier League contract length. Chelsea are fond of doing it, so it won't take effect now until somewhere around summer. So if you guys, if you're watching us live, Football Minutes Live, brought to you by Blueclouds Media, we have outlined some good topics regarding Kepa Arrizabalaga being sold, or maybe starting to get back to the Real Madrid squad. And also we've talked about Reece James' hamstring injury and how it will impact Chelsea's team as the club captain. We've also talked about Mauricio Pochettino out, thinking of 3 players that he can bring in the January transfer. We also talk about the rules limiting Premier League contract length. The last but not the least, we're gonna look into
just quickly.
Go ahead. We got
So
10
I
more
believe,
minutes.
based on how it's done, both Enzo and Caicedo are both amortized as 12.5 million per year, I think. So if we had the new version where it's amortized over 5 years, both would be 20 million on the books every year.
Okay.
So that's the difference. So for them, it'd be a 7.5 million difference in what goes on the books.
All right. So thank you very much for the update and education over there from Steven Blue G. We're gonna go to the final on the list. We'll be looking at these final standing of UEFA Champions League group stages, those that have qualified, and some of the score lines today. I'll let Mr. Ryan will take Mr. Steven will take Group A and B. Mr. Ryan will take Group C, and Nizaya himself will take Group D. So yes, guys, thank you for being here with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a second as we walk you guys. We discuss the UEFA Champions League group stages. Welcome back, beautiful people, to Football Minutes Live, brought to you by Blueclouds Media. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to this platform, do me a favor and do yourself a favor. If you're a Chelsea fan or football fanatic, you can subscribe to this platform and be part of our community. And you can also join our platform if you're on Twitter X. You can find Blueclouds Media Live. We're streaming live on that platform. Also, if you are watching us live on Facebook, you can find us on Blueclouds Media on Facebook. Then the almighty YouTube platform. We are still there discussing some, interesting topics from the Premier League and association football, to be precise. So the next on the bill is the Champions League group. We're going to look at some of the fixtures, some of the games that was being played today. Yes, Manchester United. Yes, they were on the war zone today. So Steven, take us through these 2 groups. Ryan will take the Group C, and I'll take Group D.
Okay. So Bayern Munich finished top in their group. They was already guaranteed top. So the real interest today was who was going to finish second. It could have been any of the remaining three, which ended up being Copenhagen or Copenhagen, as they're actually known.
Okay.
And then Galatasaray in third, which means they'll play a second place team from the Europa League, because that's how it works now. You have the playoff between third place team in the Champions League versus second place in the Europa League. And then last is Man United. I actually wanted United to win, so it helps the coefficient to get 5 Champions League places in England, but it is funny they finished bottom. Group B, Arsenal finished top. That was already guaranteed. PSV finished second. That was already guaranteed too. So it was the winner of Lens and Sevilla in their own game of who got into third place for Europa League. Lens won that, so they're in the Europa League, and Sevilla finished bottom, which is actually surprising. You'd expect Sevilla to have gone through. So that's the one shock there has been.
Sevilla could not make it. I think that this Sevilla Football Club is really made and groomed for Europa. I think the standard cannot match the Champions League. So when they go there, the strength is not there. They see the Europa League more easy for them to win than the Champions League. Oh, now they can't even make it because
they finished bottom.
They couldn't. Yeah, they finished bottom on Group B. So yeah, not a good time for Sevilla in this moment in time. So, Mr. Ryan, Group C.
Group C, not really any surprises here. So I think Real Madrid already qualified. Napoli were virtually qualified. They just had to avoid defeat against Braga, which they did. The Union Berlin Madrid match was exciting, as Stephen alluded to. Union Berlin actually took the lead, but Real Madrid, who they played not their strongest team, but they had the likes of Bellingham playing, managed to turn it around, and I think they won right at the death. They scored a winner just before the 90th minute. So yeah, 2 strong teams, Real Madrid, Napoli. Real Madrid were perfect. They won all 6 games in qualifying. Didn't have any real issues. Napoli struggled a little bit. I think they lost one and dropped a few points with some draws as well. But both, strong teams, and the group kind of ended how we expected it would.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ryan, taking us through Group C, and it's me, Nizam, take you guys through Group D. Group D, we have 4 teams in there as usual. Real Sociedad, Inter Milan, Benfica, Salzburg, which Real Sociedad is leading the group. Inter Milan, Benfica, Salzburg accordingly. I think the surprise here is Benfica. Usually you're going to see, Real Sociedad, they've done good in the past, but most of the time you're going to see Inter Milan being on top, then maybe Real Sociedad second and Benfica third accordingly, because I've seen Benfica being a good team in the Europa League many times. So definitely always qualify. If they're not qualified for the Champions League, either the quarterfinals or the round of 16, maybe they might find themselves in the Europa League, which they always do better. But the surprising team here is Inter Milan. You expect them to go on top of the group. Seeing them to play the Champions League finals last season, you expect them to continue have that consistency, continue the performance from last season and this season. So it's so good for Real Sociedad to be out there. Benfica dropped down to Europa League. Inter Milan also qualified. We're gonna see some good pairing in the round of 16 stage before the quarterfinals, because teams that have qualified so far, 1 and 2. I'm talking about just the 1 and 2. Real Sociedad, Inter Milan. Inter Milan are good over there. Probably they'll be facing any of these top ones. Inter Milan is not going to have it easy in the round of 16 because second place, they might end up meeting either Arsenal, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, one of those teams. They will be meeting them. So yeah, Real Sociedad might play the Napoli, PSV, Copenhagen. Napoli, PSV, and Copenhagen. So yeah, so that's what we have for now. So yeah, good Champions League so far. Go ahead, Steven.
Just quick. So in terms of tomorrow, obviously you got Group E, Group F, Group G, and Group H. Yeah, the last 4 groups. So what's going to be interesting is that both Atletico Madrid and Lazio are already guaranteed to go through from Group E. They play each other tomorrow. So whoever wins that game finishes top of the group. So both are guaranteed to go through, 11 points and 10 points respectively. Atletico currently top by 1 point. But they play each other tomorrow and the winner will finish first. So they should, in theory, get a favourable draw in the next round. Group G is also finalised with Man City top, Leipzig second, Young Boys in third, and I think it's Red Star or Crvena Zvezda or some BS how you pronounce it. I don't know.
Which one?
Group G, Man City's group. It's Crvena Zvezda or something. I think it's Red Star Belgrade or something. They're bottom. So that group is already finalised on positions. It's just formality of playing the last game. So there's actually only 2 groups where there's one team left to qualify for the next round, which is the Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar and Antwerp group, which is Group H. And then Group F, that's the group to watch tomorrow. Just for a little hint, anyone who wants to watch any of the games tomorrow, keep your eye on Group F, which is a Dortmund group, because Dortmund play PSG and Newcastle play AC Milan. If PSG win, they qualify. But if Dortmund win and Newcastle win, Newcastle go second and PSG go third. So there could be a lot of constant changing in that group throughout the night tomorrow. In terms of who's going to finish second and third. There could be a lot of changes. AC Milan are tied on points with Newcastle, so whoever wins there will finish above the other. But the bit to watch is second place. You could get any of PSG, Newcastle, or AC Milan qualifying for second place.
Atletico Madrid are doing very well, very well in Group E. So they've already qualified.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Atletico and Lazio are qualified. It's just they play each other tomorrow, so it's who gets top spot.
Right. So here we have.
Worth pointing out as well, Nee, that it's worth pointing out as well that for the Champions League group stage, it's when 2 teams finish the same points. It's based on head-to-head against each other, not the goal difference. I don't know how many. I haven't been through all the groups and the points, but
how many goals each of us scores both away, right?
Well, no, head to head. So they played each other. Who had the most points in both fixtures.
Okay.
Yes. If PSG win against Dortmund, by the way, PSG will go through top because they beat Dortmund in the first game.
Exactly. That's it.
That's a prime example of what Ryan's saying there is about it being head to head. Because PSG won the first game. If they win tomorrow, they've won both, so they'll go top.
Okay. Yeah, it's looking very, very difficult for. I think Newcastle will end up playing the Europa League. That's how I feel because they have to play Borussia Dortmund, isn't it? They'll play Dortmund at.
No. It's Dortmund versus PSG and Newcastle versus Milan. That's why I was saying it's so interesting, right?
Oh yeah. Newcastle lost to Dortmund.
The bottom 2 playing each other, so it's going to be very, very interesting. And that's why I said there could be a lot of switching between Milan, Newcastle, PSG in terms of who gets second, who gets third, who finishes bottom. We could at some point in the night tomorrow have PSG bottom and well, actually we can't. We could at some point tomorrow have PSG in third place in that group. Whether they finish there or not, who knows? But it could very well happen.
Is Dortmund hosting PSG at home, or are they going to? Are they going to?
Dortmund are hosting PSG. Newcastle host AC Milan.
Yeah, PSG are dead. It's over. Because PSG is over. It's over. Dortmund will win that game. That Sudna Iduna Park is not an easy place to go. It's just like you're going to Anfield. All you see is yellow. The number of players over there. Everything when you look at your left and right, just like Anfield, you're looking everywhere. All you see is red. You don't see any other color. Everything is red, and the breads are flying everywhere. Yeah.
To your point, in the group stage, PSG have won 2, drawn 1, and lost 2. The 2 defeats were 4-1 away to Newcastle and 2-1 away to AC Milan. So, if
away
that
games
continues,
struggling
PSG
away.
will lose.
Yeah, they're struggling away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a team that will attack. They bring in all the attack. They're gonna end up making mistakes from the back. And I know that they're gonna use the likes of Adeyemi on the left hand side, and then the other striker, the young striker, Makuma. What's his name again?
Makoko.
Makoko. Yeah, Makoko. Makoko is the guy. Those guys will. I think Sebastian Allan. Did he leave?
Who?
Sebastian Allan or whatever they call him.
The guy that was with Haller. I think he's still there.
He moved away from the Premier League, West Ham United. I think teams with it.
He went.
You see the one who had cancer.
Yeah.
Oh,
he literally
he had cancer.
He got his move to Dortmund, and then he got it.
Man,
that's scary, man. That's scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was last season because I remember. Wasn't back long when they were playing us in the Champions League.
Right.
But thankfully, he seems to be in the clear.
He has to be careful if he's doing anything that relates to that, deadly disease that never go away. He has to stop it to minimize it because
I doubt he is. To be honest, I doubt it.
Yeah. Many things causes that thing, but a lot of time I always tell people, look, it's about time. Eat from the house, stay away from outside. Eat from the house. A lot of things, contribute. It could be waves, it could be whatever, but we have discussed. I'm not sure if you guys have discussed the Group H: Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp, Real Antwerp, Belgium. I think that was what Steven was trying to say. Antwerp. Yeah, that's how they pronounce it. Antwerp.
No, it wasn't that one. It was the Crvena Zvezda, which is Red Star Belgrade.
Oh, Red Star Belgrade.
Group G. Man City's group.
Good thing that they didn't say any. They didn't put any other name over there. They put on the Red Star Belgrade.
They didn't. It's under Crvena Zvezda, or however you pronounce it.
No, look at the screen. It says Red Star Belgrade.
Oh, I'm on the actual UEFA website, so I could get the permutations for it.
Okay. I think, guys, we've said it all. We've discussed a whole bunch of topic. Even go through the ended the UEFA Champions League games. We've talked about anything. I have a wonderful guest with me, my co-host. Ryan is also here. Great Liverpool supporter. He also gave us a different perspective on how we see this UEFA Champions League draw and some of the topics. So I always love to have Ryan here. And this is the perfect time to have Ryan because it's late, guys. It's almost, I think it's 18 past 11 in the UK. Yep. So getting close to midnight. And I still have these wonderful guys with me. God bless Blueclouds Media. Need Zion, Steven, and Mr. Ryan. Guys, I want to thank them all to help me thank these wonderful people. Ryan, do you want to say anything before we bring the stream to an end regarding the top page? We've discussed the channel and everything before I go to Mr. Steven.
Just, I mean, the night belongs to Man United. They have crashed out of the Champions League. They haven't even qualified for the Europa League, which is embarrassing. They were pretty disgraceful when it comes to representation of English football in Europe, and their season is just going from bad to worse to a nightmare. So yeah, they really are in despair right now.
Is it time? Is it time for Erik ten Hag to go? Because he can't sack any of these players. They're on high wages and contract. You cannot sack any of them. It's the manager who has to go, isn't it? They have to put the head of the managers, the head down on the chopping board to sacrifice for the bad performances. And look at what we have in here. Erik ten Hag could pay the price for Manchester United incompetent Champions League campaign. We saw a lot of mistake. Hala, is it Halo, right? Or whatever. They say coming from Onana. Yeah, look at him. Steven, tell me, does this guy look like a goalkeeper? Onana, does it look like a goalkeeper or outfield player, or maybe a number 9?
He looks like a goalkeeper who has a habit of making mistakes.
No, I'm talking about his stature. If you look at Onana standing in goal post, it doesn't look like a goalkeeper. Look at Peter Cech.
But then, would you expect them to look like that?
Look like a goalkeeper, tall, skinny, big hands, ready. This guy can't dive. Onana can't dive. More or less to save his life. All right, so we're almost done. Steven, over to you before I conclude. Come to summarize everything.
Yeah, just as I usually say, if you're watching us on X, aka Twitter, or Facebook, then please do come over to YouTube and subscribe here, turn the bell notification on, and then you get more content over here as well with the YouTube shorts and stuff like that. So
yes,
make sure you do come over. Don't stay on just one platform, because if something was to happen to X with how that's getting run, or something to happen to Facebook, then you've still got the YouTube platform.
Yeah, thank you very much, Stephen. I've said it all. Mr. Ryan, I've also said the whole thing. It's not the time that we do stream to all these platforms. So sometimes we might be on YouTube streaming. So if you're watching us live on any of these platforms, do well to subscribe to Blueclouds Media on YouTube. We'll love it. And we're building a very, very huge community. We'll be streaming a little bit late these days because of behind the scenes project and what I got going on. But we still try to make sure we get the content out there. Thank you very much. I123 love you forever. Said, wow, you're still live. Great live stream today. It's been a long time, a long day for me just arriving home from work. Thanks for the panelists for always helping out. Thank you very much. Kind words coming from I123. Love you forever. Yes. So, guys, I want to thank Mr. Steven and Mr. Ryan. May you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you guys again, everyone again tomorrow, probably same time, until we get things organized and ready again to stream at early stages. But we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye for now. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Blueclouds TV. Sorry, I didn't say one thing. I always say, Leo Desperados, hang on to hope. Have a good night. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Blueclouds TV. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Blueclouds TV.